The figures show more than half of the prison population have served time before. Indigenous inmates comprise a quarter of the people in jail, and the imprisonment rate is 14 times higher than non-Indigenous Australians. All states and territories except Queensland and the ACT recorded increases in imprisonment rates in the past decade. Tasmania recorded the largest increase, up 45% since 1999.
A senior official from Victoria's Police Forensic Service has been suspended after an Ombudsman's report highlighted serious problems at the centre. The report found Kate Quinn, who heads the drug and alcohol branch, failed to keep proper records and had an unprofessional attitude towards her work. The report was scathing of the way drugs are stored and recorded at the facility and found mismanagement meant corruption may go unnoticed. The Ombudsman says he's not confident that all of the drugs taken to the centre have been accounted for. Victorian Police Chief Commissioner Simon Overland says Ms Quinn could face disciplinary action over her role in the failures of the centre.
This morning I have moved to suspend Ms Quinn on full pay, pending an investigation into allegations of serious misconduct. The Ombudsman has recognised that the majority of staff out at the centre are willing to move on. They recognise the significance of the findings.
Police say a Sydney woman charged with the murder of a 72-year-old was a bank teller who siphoned money from the older woman's account. More from court reporter Jamal Wells.
Officers found 72-year-old Nancy Brayshaw in her home at Epping in November after responding to concerns for her welfare. 26-year-old Casey Henson, who is charged with her murder, has been remanded in custody until she fronts court again later this month. Detectives allege when Casey Henson worked as a teller for the NAB at Carlingford, she transferred money from Nancy Brayshaw's account into her own. They say the largest transaction, $100,000, was the day before Nancy Brayshaw was found dead. Police say Casey Henson also told them she went to Nancy Brayshaw's house in November to discuss a charity donation, and while she was there, two men broke in. Jamel Wells, ABC News, Sydney.
A 17-year-old's been charged with murder after the death of a man during a brawl at Busby in Sydney's southwest in April. The 23-year-old died from injuries including a stab wound to the chest when two groups began fighting. The teenager was originally charged with affray and malicious damage. He's been granted conditional bail and is due to face court in February. He's the fifth person arrested over the death. It's 5 minutes past 5. The New South Wales coroner has referred the mysterious death of a yachtsman to the Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions. Harbourman Andrew Whittam disappeared while sailing from Tahiti to the Galapagos Islands with his friend Simon Golding in 2007. At the end of an inquest, coroner Mary Jerram said there's a reasonable chance a jury could convict a person based on the evidence. Andrew Whittam's sister Louise says her brother was an experienced yachtsman.
He would certainly show great respect for other people's, life on board. My parents and I have been on with him before, and Mum had a bit of a steer, but he would never put his own life in danger, let alone somebody else's. And he was a very, very capable sailor.
Volunteer firefighters are still trying to contain two large blazes which are threatening some homes in the state's north and central west. Fire crews are working to protect several properties near the northern town of Bandara. The Rural Fire Service is also concerned about a blaze near Bathurst that's burnt 2,000 hectares of bushland. Crews are trying to construct containment lines before the onset of strong norwesterly winds later today. The Queensland barrister who took on the federal government and the federal police over the case against Dr Mohammed Hanif has won the 2009 Human Rights Medal. Mark Douglas reports.
Stephen Keim felt he had no choice but to take the extraordinary step of leaking a police record of interview to the media to defend the reputation of his client Dr Mohammed Hanif. The action, described by the Human Rights Commission as courageous and brave, raised doubts about the allegations against Dr Hanif and has now played a part in Mr Keim receiving the Human Rights Medal.
I had no doubts about it at the time. It seemed to be the right.
Hey, Mary.
Hello. Oh, you're both dead. Come on, let's go.